Harold, when you were born, were you born with this? So could you walk when you were a kid? When you were little?
When I was up till I was 2, when I first started walking, I was always crying and that because I was in pain and they didn't know why.
Oh.
Chubby because I would get inflamed, you know.
Oh man.
So then my mom took me to the doctors and they did these tests and then they finally found out that's what I had.
Is it genetic?
No, they just said something just happens.
Now, tell me about your parents. Was your mom a smoker or drinker, or was she cool?
But she's nuts.
Was she healthy?
No.
No.
Not in the head.
So you were born in 79?
78.
78?
Yeah.
And now are your mom and dad together now?
Yeah, they got divorced when I was like 5.
Do you think you had something to do with that?
No.
The stress?
No.
And them taking care of you?
They should be married and they should be married to each other.
Where do they live now?
My mom lives in Aquippa. My dad lives in Rochester.
And you said you have one sister?
2 sisters.
2 sisters?
Yeah, the one thinks she's too good, so she don't hang out with anybody. She keeps to herself and my grandma.
And what about your other? She takes care of you?
Yeah, she comes over and takes care of me, yep.
So, what do you do?
Her family.
I know you go to the malls on Saturdays.
Yeah, well, a lot if I can, like a couple days a week, it just depends.
So you take the bus?
Yeah, I gotta use the bus to get around.
And when you go to get on the bus, is there somebody to help you?
No, just the bus driver.
So he has to get out?
They're rude a lot. No, they let the lift down, but then they gotta like put the hooks on when I get in the bus to tie it down.
And the bus driver's got to do that?
Yeah.
And you have to like, does he like, as soon as he sees you, he knows you and gets up and helps you, or do you got to like go, excuse me?
Sometimes. No, they always know they got to get up and help me, but sometimes they just keep going. It depends on, I've had that happen a couple times, and when I call and complain about it, they tell me there's nothing I can do, and I got to wait an hour for the next one.
Oh, so they don't want to deal with you and pass you up?
Yeah, they're ignorant.
Even though you're sitting at the bus stop?
I've had them cuss at me before.
Look how guys like Harold get treated in society.
They cuss at me, and they didn't even get fired or nothing happened to them. I called and complained.
He told us about the airplane story, now this bus story. The bus drivers just pass him up.
They just pass me up, and then when I get on them, sometimes I got to see bus drivers that had said something to me before, and nothing happened to them, and then I got to kind of like deal with that.
We'll talk about discrimination.
Whoa. There was one guy, he called me a name because he only put like 2 of the straps on the chair, and there's supposed to be 4, 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
This was a bus driver?
Yeah, this was a couple of years ago.
And what
5 years ago.
So what he
called me, he said, you're a pain in the ass, because I said, can you put the other straps on? So he stopped and only put 1 on. It's like, why are you only going to put 1 on? Why didn't you put both? So the chair's still moving around, and this is like required by law, I think, that you got to tighten them on there. So he called me a pain in the ass, and I forget what else. And then there was another guy a couple years later. This was more recently, and he always used to mumble stuff like under his breath, kind of. But I didn't know whether he did it loud enough and he knew I heard him, or he was just saying it. You know, because some people mumble.
What's he call you, a retard or?
No, but he
cripple?
called me like a cocksucker. Yeah, dirty shit. Yeah.
Dirty shit.
Yeah, like a cocksucker. One day I was out there and he was like 15 minutes late, and it started with that. And he was late, so when he pulled up and he saw me, and he had to help me on, he mumbled, he's like, I'm 15 minutes late, you're still fucking out here. And it's like, it was snowing and cold.
He called you a cocksucker?
Yeah, after that, a different time he called me a cocksucker.
Why?
Just under his breath, I don't know.
Do you actually think you suck cock, or he was just calling your name?
He's a little bitter, you know.
This is unreal.
He's a bitter dude. He's like, you fucking cocksucker. That's what he called, you fucking cocksucker.
He said, you fucking cocksucker.
He's under his butt, he's like, you fucking cocksucker. Like when he was behind me putting the straps on the wheelchair.
Wow.
And when I called and complained about it, they said he wouldn't do it. He never did that, you know, he would never do it. And, because they told me, if you have a problem, just call us. Because I always have had problems with that. A couple of them. Sometimes they didn't want to put the straps on, or they would pass me up.
Wow. Do you have any other horror stories like that? Now tell me what you were just saying. You got treated like shit from your family. You were a kid?
Well, yeah, up until the last couple of years when I got out on my own. Because, like I said, my mom was nuts, and so it was my mom taking care of me. She moved my one uncle in. He was paralyzed on one side. And he's a VA vet, so he gets like a couple $1,000, you know. So she got the money for him.
But he had to take care of you?
No, he lived there. She got him to take care of him, but she really didn't have to do much.
Oh.
He did everything. But she got his money. You know what I mean? It's one of them. He's either in a nursing home or he's with her, and she gets $2,000 or $3,000. So.
And what do you get in a month? You get nothing, huh?
$650 or something.
And they expect you to live on that.
Yeah, and I pay $350 for an apartment.
That's a crime in today's society. It's a crime.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, you know, I don't have empathy on myself, and I don't judge, you know, compared to other people with problems. But who decides who gets what money on, you know? Because I know that there's other people that get like more money.
And you can't help it. You were born this way.
Yeah, and so who decides what case is worse than another case?
Yeah. So why can't we do a better job of taking care of Harold? Why don't we?
I've called about it, but they don't listen to me. You know?
Yeah, you know, it's going to take an act of Congress to get more money for guys like you. How many people are afflicted with your juvenile arthritis?
That's why they didn't know much to do. Like I had surgeries when I was a kid on my legs a couple of times. They cut under my knees and my hips to loosen the tendons. Mm-hmm. So my legs would bend and everything. And then I had a body cast because my hip came out of the joint, and that's what actually what like locked my legs up, because the doctor, I don't know, he should have knew better, but he put me in a cast for 8 weeks from like the top of my chest all the way to my toes, and after that I couldn't move my legs too much anymore after that.
Wow.
And it dried it all up, and I don't know, I thought there would have been a better way that you could do that without the whole body thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you have arthritis, a severe case, you can't hold your joint in one spot for 8 weeks because it's going to dry up, you know.
Right. So you got to keep moving.
More after that, you have to keep moving. I could walk up until then. Then after that, I couldn't walk no more.
Now, do you do exercises?
Pretty much just what I do every day. I just try to keep active.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me see your hands. Let's see. Let's show everybody what.
Yeah, and the wheelchair, you hear that?
What?
My wheelchair's about to be broke down. It's making a beeping noise, and I called the company, and they give me the runaround because the insurance, I guess, they don't want to fix my chair. I've been trying to get it fixed for a year, and the motors are blowing out.
And how far can you go on the battery on that?
A couple of days, but right now it's kind of like starting to stop it by itself.
And you called the company how long ago?
I called them. I've been waiting 6 months to hear from them. I called them a week ago, and they said the lady was out of the office. She'd call me back, and I haven't heard back from her.
So for 6 months you've been trying to get your wheelchair fixed.
Yeah, and it's 11 years old.
This is criminal.
One time they said they were going to get me a new one. Then they said they were just going to get parts for this one because it needs new batteries, new motors, new seat belt, a new joystick box, new tires.
This is criminal. I'm shocked to even hear this.
It's terrible.
I came here to film you to do a demo for Howard Stern, and it's really turning into a documentary about Harold. And
terrible.
The fact that he's basically a piece of dust on the floor, and he gets broomed aside in
I
society.
have a terrible life as it is, and look at all the extra. You know what I mean? But I deal with it. It's nothing to me because that's how life is to me. You know?
Right. You're used to it.
I'm the underdog, you know.
Right. But you're an underdog, and you're
Rocky.
You don't have the same opportunities as other people,
No,
and that's not right.
I did, you know, and I always think to myself, if I did, what if I just got that chance, you know?
I mean, you got a brain in there. You can do a lot of good things.
Yeah.
And
I do the computer. I'm real good on the computer.
You're making your own movies.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, I had to help him get out of bed. I remember one morning coming over here. So the guy, the fact that he wants to get out of bed and participate in life is amazing to me.
Yeah.